Ahoy, ahoy, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Ramble on Reactions. With me on this boat of movie watching is Handsome Dan 9.
And sitting right over there is clever Eric Muller. We are going to be coming...
Starboard. I'm starboard of you.
Starboard.
Yeah.
I'm aft.
Yes.
So, we are coming to you today. There's going to be a lot of content coming out. It's going to be broken up a little bit, but it's doing 5 reactions, 2 other special videos, and then 1 long form. So...
yeah, we're gonna dump nothing but knowledge on you, onto your heart, much like a movie that we're gonna talk about, dump nothing but emotions on you, like A Body in the Sea.
Like a town from England, but in America and by the sea. So
why does everyone automatically think, oh, it's Manchester, England? No, it's Manchester by the Sea.
It's Manchester by the Sea. That's the distinction. So we're going to be talking about Manchester by the Sea. Kenneth Lonergan?
Yes.
I believe wrote and directed.
You know I can't pronounce names.
I can kind of pronounce names sometimes. So
Danny Niley?
We can't get, right? We can't do too much into the story because
then it gets a little bit of spoiler.
It gets pretty heavy spoiler pretty quick. Not spoiler. You find out his brother dies very early on in the movie.
And it's also in the trailer, so.
It's also in the trailer, so Casey Affleck is taking care of his brother's son.
Also known as a nephew.
Also known as a nephew. So that's why he's here. So what else? Anything else we need to cover to start this? That's how the movie starts,
right?
More or less.
It's your first 10 minutes is that. Actually 5, but
it's pretty quick.
Yeah. I don't know where to go with this movie because like
you have Michelle Williams playing his wife / ex-wife.
The kid gives a great performance.
As far as positive things about this movie goes, Casey Affleck he's a dick.
But he's totally justified.
He's also totally justified. About an hour in, and that's the thing, for the first 40, 50 minutes, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure where the story's going. And
right.
Then
Why would anyone want to leave their child?
There's a massive plot point, and then you're like, all of this makes sense.
Right. You're like, oh.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like smack talking about somebody behind their back, and then you find out what their life is really like, and then you're like, I'm gonna be over here and I'm gonna be really quiet now.
Well, I'm a bad person.
It's kind of how it is, but the movie is as far as positives go, every performance in this movie is really good. I really liked, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who played the dead brother's friend.
Oh, the shipmate partner.
The shipmate is amazing. He's so nice. He's
the only nice person in this entire movie. Literally barely everyone in Manchester is a huge a-hole.
Kind of. But they may be an a-hole, but they give really great performances.
Yes.
Like Casey Affleck just won a Golden Globe for this. Michelle Williams was great in it. She only has a handful of scenes, but she's really good in them.
She will tear you apart.
Matthew Broderick has a really random cameo that when you see it, you're kind of like...
yeah, it's Matthew Broderick.
It's Matthew Broderick. Kind of unnerving Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
Like, he's not creepy, but he's like, you watch it and you're like, I don't know people like that, and I don't know how I feel about this. So, what are some other thoughts? Any other positives, or do you want to...
I mean, the main thing to see this movie is for the performances. The directing and writing, you could... yeah.
The directing and writing are good. My biggest complaint...
well, I mean, the script's not the greatest script, because everyone who acts in this does the best they can with the material that's given to them. They outperform the script.
And that's the one big complaint that I had with the movie is, after a while, it feels super Oscar baity, to where the takes are just not only they're not necessarily long takes, but they're long shots, meaning like if their foreground is right here, the characters literally start way back here, but you can hear them just like anything else, and then they slowly walk up and they're talking blah blah blah. The volume never changes. It's like, I get it, we're supposed to feel distant and disconnected from these characters. Stop beating me over the head with these same type of shots.
Well, it kind of felt like Lincoln a couple years ago when Spielberg got nominated for Best Directing. It's like, all he did was just set up the camera, people walked into their spots, delivered their monologues, and that's it. And that's what Manchester felt like to see, because everyone's giving powerful performances, but in terms of like the technical aspect or the script, it's not spectacular, but it's still solid.
There's another movie that we're going to review a little bit where I think of those terms, but more. This was a little bit more picturesque. The one that popped into my head was American Beauty, where you take away the monologue from American Beauty, but there you have more characters you can connect with, so it kind of grounds the movie, and I think that would be a better film in the same style. But Manchester, it was good for what it was, but yeah, it's mostly a performance piece. It's not like no one's going to look at this and be like, that was the best cinematography I've ever seen. It's like, no, it's you're pointing the camera at the actors and then letting them do great work.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Grade this movie.
B plus.
I'm about the same. Our normal barometer is I'm always about a half grade off of you. I'm going to say A minus, mostly because it's when you get to the point where the story really picks up and you understand everything that's happening. That's when I really identified with Casey Affleck. That's really when I really identified with his character and the full overarching story. Also, the movie just kind of ends. There isn't really...
No, the ending makes total sense for me because I got what they were going for. But it's just one of these movies that you're going to see once and never see again unless you're like a theater major or something like doing performance studies and you have to do the scene between Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams for performance.
Which could totally be a thing because that is easily the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
So... yeah, as always, thank you very, very much for watching this far. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know what you thought, whether you thought it could be the greatest movie ever and that you'll perpetually watch it over and over and over again, or whether you're like, it's kind of an awards buzzy movie. But
Buzz.
That's clever Eric Muller sitting right over there.
That's Handsome Dan Nye over there.
As always, ahoy, ahoy.
Daggers away.